In this video, we're going to look at how to review and delete your error_log files, your PHP error files, in your Joomla install. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. And you know what? I just realized that the sound is really going to be out of sync with my lips right now because something has changed on my computer and I forgot I need to fix that. So bear with me. Anyways, hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Maintenance Monday number 115 here on the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel. And so after we get through the meat of our little topic at the beginning, stick around to see a debut of a new feature on mySites.guru. So let's turn our attention over to the computer screen and we will proceed. I will mention too, for those of you that already asked, this is not a new time for Watch Me Work live stream. Today is November the 11th, which is Remembrance Day here in Canada, and we have our ceremonies to remember those who have fought in the wars for us and veterans and those serving. We have them at 11 o'clock, which is usually when I have the live stream here. And so I postponed it 1 hour, but we'll be back to 11 o'clock left coast of Canada time. That's 1900 UTC next week, and for Watch Me Work live streams as well. All right, so let's turn our attention over to the screen here. Wrong button. There we go. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. Be entered automatically for our monthly giveaway for a number of great Joomla prizes, as you can see there. Also, congratulations to our October winner, Osiris O. He won. He won those great prizes. Check it out. basicjoomla.com/giveaways. All right. So today we're going to talk about, as I said, how to look at the error log, find the PHP error log files in your Joomla install. And because there's helpful information there of stuff that maybe is not going right with your site. Also, they can grow pretty big, or if you've already reviewed them, you want to delete them, save that space. And so the first way that I'll show you to find these is this. Go into your web hosting account and go to your file manager. Now I'm going to show this on cPanel. It'll probably change for you. Oh, Eric Lewis. Hello, Eric. That's a new name on our live stream. Welcome. And it says I appear to be synchronized right now. Well, that's good. Feel free to comment on the synchronization depending on where in different one of you. All right, so we go to File Manager, and then we're going to click on the folder where our Joomla site is installed. I've got a lot of stuff in here. I actually have a WHMCS install inside this folder as well. In the top right, where you're going to search, just search in current directory, and then search for error_log, and you're going to hit go. And that's going to look for all the current directory and subdirectories. Oh, Eric is a lurker. And subdirectories for all files that are named error_log. Now, notice something really quirky that happens here in cPanel. It has been doing it for a long time. You scroll down here and you think, okay, there's all the files, but somehow you can't see everything. But if you start to use a mouse wheel, you find even more files that aren't showing. So this scroll is not necessarily accurate, and it's been that way for a long time. Anyways, so if you want to check out one of these logs, so let's look at administrator /error log. Just double click on it. That will only open up the folder to where that error log is, but here then you will be able to scroll down through the list of files and you'll see error_log. And at that point, you're going to go right click and you can view it. You could edit it as well. In fact, this one is super wide, so editing it might actually be better. Let's give that just a quick check. Right click and edit. Well, editing at least wraps it a little bit better. Anyway, so here are some of the PHP errors that you would be getting. That your site is generating, and you'll see this one. I have obviously not been reviewing this because it goes back to January 26, 2017. So that's not even in play anymore, because as we scroll down to the bottom, I get a new one from March 26, about an undefined offset, and I scroll down, and March 29th is the last one, and some problems in the backup engine, processor connector, Dropbox. There's some problem in the backup. So anyways, that's how you find the files, and that's how you can review them using your web hosting control panel. Now, Of course, if you want to get rid of that error log file, just delete it. And it'll be regenerated if you have new errors. So that is one way to find the error files. Now you can keep going back and forth and go up here to search and error_log and search. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Up to here. I can go back and select public HTML and search and just slowly work my way through these error logs that are in there. Or you can use a tool that's on mysites.guru in your audit that will show you the location of all of them, and then you can just go directly to them. So I'm doing lots more things in mysite.guru. I like because I'm managing multiple sites. I really like that. So let me show you how I do that. So for this site, cybersalt.com, my cybersalt.com site, here is how it is managed in mysites.guru. And I'm viewing a snapshot of things on it right now and some things to look into and some things I don't do. But in the audit, you can see a number of things that mysites.guru looks through all of your files. It doesn't scan them. It looks into all of your files and then gives you a report on all these things. I find the easiest way to find the error section in the audit is just to go F3 and search for ERR, and I get taken right down, and there's 12 files. So now over here, there's information and there's a video, which who knows, maybe that might be one of my videos. Maybe I've talked about this before. I'll have to watch it later. And then you can go to investigate. And what will happen is it will go and look at live data from your site. And here are all the locations of error logs, the error log files in the folder for that current Joomla install. So I have this hosting update backup. That's something that tells me I made a copy when I was updating this hosting program. So that reminds me I can go and delete that. And then here is error log in the root and administrator error log and some other things. So I can actually take a look at this location and I can then go right to that in the file manager. So I'm going to go to administrator. Actually, that's the one I just deleted. So I can go back here and go to, let's see, what else I've got here. I've got error_log right in the root. All right, let's go and check that out. So we'll go up one, error_, here's another error log here, and the latest errors from March there. So again, I can view it, I can scroll, and it looks like I've deleted this one in recently anyway, so cool. I will close that and delete it, and it will be gone. So I like that as just part of the review, the part of the audit that I can go and see these locations. And it's really neat because before, had I just seen error log, I could have looked at the list. But even right now, I found out there's something else that I need to clear off, an old backup on my site. So, all right, before we get to the preview of the new feature, mysites.guru, I do want to thank you for tuning in because that's the topic for today. Although I am going to check out that video that I saw there. Hopefully this isn't duplicate, but if it is, whatever. Twice as much of a good thing as okay sometimes. If that's why you tuned in, if that's the information you're looking for, I want to thank you for tuning in and watching, for your support of this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If I've earned a subscription, ring the bell for notifications, and you'll find out about new live streams and tutorials happening here on the channel. So for those of you who are leaving, thank you again. Enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless. And for those of you that are still here, let's go and get to the preview. Now, I want to tell you that there's a new feature that was added to mysites.guru last week, and it's a team feature, which is pretty cool. You can create accounts on your main mysites.guru account and add team members, and you can assign certain sites to them. So when they log in, they only see the sites that they're responsible to see. And there's some pretty cool uses that are coming out of this. In fact, people that don't even have a team, I am a team. I'm a Tim, but I have no team. I've been creating some profiles so that I can log in and see only certain groupings of sites that I want to work on at one time. And in fact, for tutorials that I'm doing, instead of showing all my clients now, I can actually log in as one of my fake team members. and then I can just have certain sites that I don't mind people seeing. But inside of that, there is a new feature. So let me just turn and I will show you that now. Now, instead of just explaining it to you now, I actually made a video that I set to go live on the channel at noon my time. And so I thought I would just play it for you because it'll be very succinct. And it's also a video that will stand alone on my site. So let's go to my channel and let's refresh. And hopefully it is there. Yes, it is. So you see this video here, you can watch later. It is about the team feature, but this video here is about impersonate team members, a new feature. Phil Taylor is traveling, although he's here in chat, so he's not very good at, well, I guess he's good at traveling if he's good at traveling and watching live. Anyways, I'm going to play this right now for you, and then I will be right back, and we'll continue on with Maintenance Monday because there's lots of things still to talk about and hang out about. Oh, Phil says ferry canceled due to weather. I know about that. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. In this video, I'm going to show you a new feature on mySites.guru. On mySites.guru, you can set up sub-accounts for different team members that are helping you or working on Joomla sites that you manage. And now, with this new feature, you can impersonate them on the site. That lets you very easily log in as them so you can see what they see in order to help support them and also double check your settings if you need to. Let's turn our attention to the computer and check it out. I've logged into my mySites.guru main account, and now I'm going to go to the team folder. To find that, I click on Account in the top right, and then I click on the Your Team tab. Again, each time you need to click I understand to accept all the terms of about your team, and once you do, you'll be able to access and see the settings for your different team members. Here's one that I've called Joomla Tutorials, and as we scroll way over to the right, we'll see the button Impersonate. And by clicking on Impersonate, I can now see everything that team member sees. This is great if I want to make sure that they have access to all the sites that I want them to, or I guess even sites I don't want them to have access to, or I can also log in as them and try to understand maybe if they're having some difficulties that they're describing. I can see them exactly on the screen. When you're done impersonating one of your team members, just go up to the top bar and click on Exit Impersonation. Now let me show you another way that you can impersonate one of your team members. Again, you will go to Account, the Team Member tab, I understand, and now instead of clicking on Impersonate, we're going to click Edit. In here we can edit all of the settings for our team member, but you'll notice that here's a button here under Actions, which is now Impersonate Team Member. We can click that, and once again, we'll view everything that they can see. Now logged in as them, we can go up to Account and we can see all of their account settings. And then in General Settings, here's the other things that we can change, setting things up exactly how we want them for them, or perhaps if they've requested a certain setup and don't know how to do it themselves. Again, to exit impersonation, just click Exit Impersonation in the top and you'll be back to your main screen. Team member impersonation is a really cool feature added to mySites.guru, even if you don't have a team. A lot of people that work on their own are actually creating profiles in order to separate different blocks of sites so they can work on them all at once. And this ability to log in as one of those profiles right from your main account is a super time saver. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications of new tutorials and live streams here on the channel. And don't forget to head on over to basicjoomla.com/giveaways, sign up for the newsletter, and you'll be automatically entered in our monthly giveaway. And there you go. That's the new feature. You can impersonate your team members, or you can actually create fake team members and just log in directly from your account without having to remember passwords. and that is pretty cool. So let me just post you the links to those videos. First of all, I'm going to post this link. This is the one that we didn't just watch, but it's all about the team feature, how to set it up. And then there is this link that we just watched. If you want to watch it again, then there you go. So I want a big shout out, thank Phil for letting me launch this. So obviously his ferry was canceled because of weather. He was going to be traveling, so it was fun to have that, and I'm happy to launch anything, especially hey, anybody out there, well, almost anybody out there that's got a product. If you're doing something new on Joomla, hit me up and let's promote it and let's get the word out and share it. To that end, so anyways, thanks Phil for letting me do that, and we'll be getting some other tutorials up there. Now, watch me work Wednesday. I'm going to have Mark DeChevre here. If you enjoyed Joomla Shack conference last week, and I really did enjoy it, I wasn't able to watch all of the sessions, so I'm looking forward to catch up. But a number of the ones that I did watch were really informative and really helpful, and I learned a little bit in some of them, and I learned a lot in others of them. So if you'd like that, then you'll like Watch Me Work Wednesday, when we have guests on. So this Wednesday, Mark DeChevre, he's going to go over some scenarios of how places where custom fields are used, and then how to set up the custom fields to do what's in the example. So that's going to be Wednesday at UTC 1900 here on the channel. Tune in, and this is going to help me with custom fields. Also, my friend Vinny out there, he has made an offer to help me catch up on some custom field stuff, and I just haven't found the time to connect with him actually been getting quite a few things caught up here in my business that I should have done a couple of years ago. Yes, and Ivor makes a point here. If you don't need team members, you can always use tags to separate accounts. That's right, Ivor. So in mySites.guru, you can use tags excuse me, to separate accounts. The only thing is that let's see how that let's just take a quick look at that. Let's see. Tags, if you're viewing a collection of sites by tags, I don't think that you have some of the options to just upload based only on what's listed. So for instance, the mass update, if you were viewing all of your sites that were grouped by tags on your main account, and then you were just going to do mass update of just those groups, say you want to do blocks, then you would have you would still have to go to the other features where everything was listed. So yes, you can group things with tags to separate your accounts for viewing many things and looking at their stats. But I still like the team members one, because for instance, so the demo that I did just there on the video that we watched, I put all of my own sites and assigned them to one team member. And so now I can just, if I want to just focus on my own sites and go in and just check right away or do something or look at them, then I have them all there in one place. But you're right, the tagging feature in mySites.guru is really powerful too for looking at different things. And there's other things too, for instance, looking at what sites you have on different servers. That is really cool as well. But that's a good point, Ivor. You can always use tags if you don't want to use team members. All right, so what else was I going to say? So I finished talking about Mark DeChevre. Jimcast. I have finished editing the latest version of Jimcast, but I don't know if it has been out yet. Let's just go and check that out. Anchor.fm Jimcast. Not yet. So the most recent one is still with Emmanuel Danan. And you know what? I got him confused with Anibal Sanchez, which of course I should not have, because two different people, but I got confused about who was working where. So I just recently sent a suggestion to Exley, and I mentioned Anibal, but it turns out that, and I realized afterwards that Anibal isn't with Exley. It's, no, sorry, Emmanuel isn't with Exley. Anibal is with excellently. So keep your eye out for Jimcast. There's gonna be a new episode out either today or tomorrow, and that will be there. So yeah, I mentioned Jimcast, mentioned Watch Me Work live stream with Mark DeChevre, mentioned the winner. We looked at the video, the sneak preview. Yeah, I will tell you something goofy that I did on my basic Joomla site. I can't show you exactly, but I have invisible reCAPTCHA set up on the newsletter here for signing up for the contest. And when I went to pick a winner, I had like 120 email addresses, and that was way more than the last time I went to pick a winner. And what happened? And I thought, oh no, what happened? I got looking at them, and there were a bunch of bots that had signed up on my site, and they got user profiles in ACY mailing, but they weren't subscribed to any newsletter. So I thought, oh, what have I missed? I have invisible reCAPTCHA for the Joomla login or for account creation. And I double checked everything. Then I remember that I use Community Builder on my site. And so when people sign up for things, it's through Community Builder. And lo and behold, I had not set up reCAPTCHA for user creation in Community Builder. So yeah, it's so easy to get confused by things. And I was confused. I probably lost maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour before it finally dawned on me that I had not protected that. So, what else is happening? What's happening on in your world? Now, Eric Lewis, you're a lurker. At least tell us where you're lurking from. And anybody, if you have projects you want to share that's going on the site here, then yeah, CB is one way, Joomla is another. That's right, Phil. Yeah, anything that registers new users, you want to have them protected by invisible reCAPTCHA. Now Eric said that things seem to be in sync right now with the words. Can you tell me out there while you're watching, as I just stare at the screen here, is the audio and the movement of my lips in sync? That is, excuse me. Do a little test here. I might actually be able to tweak things if they're not. Ivor says there's no problem. Okay, cool. I actually did adjust the synchronization, so I set that the mic would be, I don't know if it's before or after in this setup, but I lowered the number, and I thought that would work. But so if Eric says no problem and Ivor says no problem, then I'll just accept that there's no problem and see what happens on the replay. Phil Taylor says 0.00001 delay, if that, only noticeable if looking for it. Okay. Well, why don't we just, while I wait to see if you guys want to talk about anything or share anything, I'm going to go into, I guess I cannot, let's see here. All right, so let's see here. I just as an experiment, I'm going to take this thing out, and then I'm going to close it. I don't know if I can change things on the fly, but if does that change things now? Does that put me really out of sync, sound, audio, and my lips? If I changed that, I took the delay right out. So we'll just see if you notice something being really different. On my computer screen, there seems to be a big delay. Oh, no change? Okay, well, I'll just, all right. Maybe it doesn't work unless, where's the thing here? All right. Maybe it doesn't work unless the settings are from the start. So anyways, if it looks good, I will just accept it and be happy with that. All right, well, let's head on over to the Joomla Extensions Facebook page and see if there's anything new there. We kind of pop in there from time to time. Event IT OS CCK Events Ready Site. This is someone, if you want to create an event site and you look for the perfect event template, meet our Event IT. The Joomla template stuff. Here's another template thing in the extensions. Valerie says this. Hi, Tim. Missed first 10 minutes. Do you have any idea, ballpark, when Joomla 4 is coming out? I've been watching vids on it, and I'm starting to sweat. I have sites using Protostar, which won't exist. Valerie, there was one particular... one of the sessions in the Joomla Shack conference last week, George said, I forget George's last name, but he runs Google Summer of Code, and he's sort of he's in the know about things. He says, I think it was hopefully by the end of the month or sometime in December. That I want to say end of the month, but don't quote me on that. That Joomla 4 beta is going to be out. And what's significant about beta is that means there will be no more features added to it. That closes off to new features, and then the process begins to keep processing to get things done. And so I think people are talking about early next year. Now Phil says, I can't count how many ha-ha-ha-ha's there. He says December next year, maybe. Is that a winky icon? Okay, so that's a winky. I think that I'm hoping. I'm going with early, but that's just hopeful. I have no effect. Now George works in England, and his current job is doing servers, and he has the job extension on running these servers or setting them up or whatever he's doing because it's connected to Brexit. And so we were kind of joking in the chat during that conference that working on Brexit stuff is great job security because you'll have a job forever, it seems. And then someone asked, will Joomla 4 come out before Brexit is settled? And he just groaned. So I think, and I'm sure Phil is kind of tired of Brexit stuff too. You know, since the last federal election here in Canada, the western provinces, of which I am one of them, but we're on the coast, it's a little bit different. People are talking about Wexit. They want the western provinces to exit Canada. And that just, in my mind, it just goes to show how little those people are watching international news, because that exit stuff is not great. But Valerie, so I think it's going to be, I hope that it's early in the new year. I don't know for sure. But your comment too, though, about you have sites using Protostar which won't exist. I know there's one of the things that really got us was that you could not transfer from 1.5 to 2.5. It was basically recreating your site. And 2.5 to 3 was somewhat better, but it was not perfect, and it was hard in many ways. So there's a lot of emphasis that's being put on so that when Joomla 4 comes out, it's easily updated. And if you're using Protostar, which is if you're using Protostar, which is the template that comes with Joomla, then I am confident that there will be something that will migrate Protostar to Cassiopeia, which is the default template in Joomla 4. And also, the other thing too about Protostar is, unless you've heavily customized it, it's a pretty basic template as well. So it won't be too hard to switch those over. Now, the other thing about Joomla 4 that I understand is that Joomla 3.10, which is not out. So right now we're at 3.9.13. The goal for Joomla 3.10 is so that if an extension works in Joomla 3.10, it will also work in Joomla 4. And so that's going to be a version that allows allows developers to make sure their stuff is ready for 4 so that it's working in 10. So that's going to help with the migration process as well. Because if you have a site that's in 3.10 and everything is working, then you can be confident, you can be hopeful, stuff happens, that when you migrate to Joomla 4, it's going to work. So I think that George is promising compatibility. Phil says this. Mary agrees with Phil that it's not even close. Yeah, actually, if you were in one of the sessions last week, who was it? The fellow that did the JavaScript session. the session on JavaScript. I cannot remember. Dimitri. In the preamble in the chat before where they're setting things up, you could hear him talking with Steve Burge, and also see his screen. And he was kind of just showing, and he showed a number of things that have to be solved before Joomla 4 can be released. And I guess there were significant things, but anyways, there's a pay. I think there's like 12 or 13 items. So yeah, Dimitri. Okay, thanks, Phil. So Mary agrees with Phil. It's not even close. And Phil says George is promising compatibility between 3 to 4, but reusing core templates is a bad idea anyway, for all the reasons mySites.guru says. Yes. So, yeah, so compatibility with extensions, say SH404 SEF or systems, template frameworks. I guess if they work in one, they work in the other, that's good. But there's also a push to get rid of legacy code out of extensions and things so that it's not carried over into the next version of Joomla. Now, interestingly, if you listen to the interview with Ramesh from J2 Store, J2 Store reprograms all their extensions for each version of Joomla. So they don't bring legacy code over for anything. So they're already working on a Joomla 4 pure extension replacing J2 Store. And that's, I think, it's probably, well, I think that's wise. So, yeah. And you always, me personally, I like to always be using the new shiny stuff anyways. So if there's a new, I just, because that way you're getting the benefit of the latest stuff that is there, something that might not be in an older version. And Joomla 3 is pretty old as far as software goes. So, yeah, but I think the big concern is for me. I mean, I know people will set up test environments on their computers and then get everything working right. When they know it's working right, they'll back it up with a key, and then they'll upload it to replace their current site. I'm sort of more of a heart surgeon kind of guy. Work on it while it's beating. So I'm not going to migrate all sites and just see if they work. But I'll start working on some of my sites, and because you guys watch me break my live sites all the time on the channel here. So I will, I like to just work on it on the server and get it going. And if for a day there's an issue, or if there's one particular thing that's not right, or I move to update it to the newest template and something's not displaying right, then I just want to, then I'll just work on it and fix it there. So, and so my method is to do it with my own sites, so nobody is yelling at me because something's not working on their site. And then that gives me a feel for what's happening with my other client sites. And there'll be some that I will not be updating until I'm absolutely sure some of the complex combinations of extensions that I have are all working. But anyways, that's what I'll do. I mentioned this, I tweeted this out from the Joomla Chat conference last week. It was really interesting because people have different views, different ideas, different ways of using Joomla. So it was interesting. One person said, I think it was Duke Spear, that said that he thought page builders should be banned entirely from Joomla if he had his way. And that was just before a session on how page builders are good that help people to be able to do things on their site. I think it's great that Joomla has its core and its strength so that lots of people can use it in different ways. I'm in one group that has some really, really talented and really creative and innovative and quirky people doing Joomla stuff, and they would be fine with some of them would be fine with a very limited slice of Joomla, and with Joomla just being something that only developers and programmers are using to do crazy things with. Of course, the issue with that is that a product needs to be used by a certain number of people for it to be viable. Now, I was surprised to learn that there was a recent update to Drupal that a bunch of Drupal users did not like, and so they forked off of Drupal to just keep it at, I think it's version 7, because they like 7 so much, which is great. But now they're locked in. Down the road, if that doesn't catch on, or if other things happen in the larger community developing Drupal 8, then they're just going to be sort of like the Amish with their black tractor and their horse-drawn wagons, and off on their own. They'll be happy, but they're not going to be part of the mainstream. And if you're happy to have something super customized and tight and small like that's good. But you pretty much are going to do your own programming and developing and customization. Whereas with Joomla, with more people using it, you have people that are selling page builders that allows them to be involved in the community as their business. And then the page builder opens up a whole new area for other people to be building sites and have control over their content and do a level of design that they want. And then they can, because there's more people using Joomla, that attracts other people to pay attention to it. And maybe they won't use page builders, those other people, but they'll see it and they'll just use core functions, but they'll be more interested in developing another extension. So I just think, it's great that Joomla can be used in so many different ways. And as I said in my tweet, it's a strength that there's people that use it in so many different ways and have different things, different ways of thinking of things. And as long as we don't devour each other over our differences, then Joomla has a bright future. Ivor says, yeah, JD Builder, Page Builder Pro is excellent and very easy to use. Yes, Ivor, I took a look at it. I'm going to start doing some tutorials. I know I've said that for a long time, but I'll tell you what, last night, because I wanted to have this tutorial about the mySites.guru team impersonation, I sat down, organized my opening and beginning and for recording tutorials, and I cranked out 2 last night. The second one maybe took me about half an hour, and I realized, okay, I've got things set so I can keep cranking out other things. So I do want to do some JD Builder, Page Builder Pro things. There's a feature in there that you can add images directly from Pixabay. So anyways, yeah, so as a page builder for people that want to lay out their pages for a site and know how that works, then that is great. And even if down the road a page builder reaches the point where it no longer suits your needs, you at least have learned, and then now you can do something different, and you've been brought into the stream or on flow, or brought into flow on stream in Joomla, and you just get doing other things. I mean, who hasn't? And I think back to my first Mambo site, and then it became Joomla, and when I finally learned about templates, that's what brought me to Mambo, because you could get a template and install it, and your site would look nice, and I didn't have to struggle through designing. But then the way that I did things back then and organized things is totally different now. And so when what I did, or even when there were limitations in earlier versions of Joomla that wouldn't let me do things, you could get extensions that would do that as well, like to help you to blog or work around it. But as time changes, and as Joomla changes, and as the user changes, the user being me in this case, you think, oh, I'm going to do this in a different way. And that's why with the overrides that we looked at a couple of weeks ago from Daniel Dubois, and I finally got doing some overrides to get a little bit more confident. And why with custom fields, I was working on a site this week and I thought I could probably do this with custom fields. And so my mind started thinking that again is going to change how I build sites with Joomla. So yeah, I like JD Page Builder, and it's really the first page builder that I have looked at. But of course, as you know, I like Chayton. We have our podcast together, and we talk every day as well about business things. And he's part of my business continuance plan. If something happens to me, just so my clients can still connect and get help with their sites, or at least figure out what's going on with their sites. If something should happen to me, because someday something is going to happen to me. I've read that. Yeah, so yeah, Joomla 4, it's going to be great when it gets here. Like, it's going to be enjoyable. Just imagine all the shiny things. Just imagine all the new topics that I can do here on the channel. And that's why I won't be risking covering things again. I don't know if today's topic is a duplicate. We will see. And actually, one of the things now that I've been thinking about too with my tutorials is because people have said the live streams are really long. And of course, when we get going looking at things, I try to keep it tight at the beginning. I've been thinking about revisiting each Maintenance Monday live stream's theme or topic and making just a tight tutorial about it and releasing Maintenance Monday minutes or maintenance minutes, something like that, just to have those topics for people to watch on the channel. So I might do that. All right, keep chatting if you've got comments or questions or anything like that. And we'll look down here. Progressive Web Apps is not a new framework or technology. It's actually a way or procedure taking steps to make a web application function similarly to a desktop or mobile application. Progressiveness is here. Someone posted this. WDM Tech, never settle down, break the shackles, and train yourself with progressive technology. I'm still trying. Let's just click on that and see. I think it's just an article. It's about mobile-based native application usage dramatically overcame the web-based application with the technology improvement and enhancement. Progressive Web Apps. Okay, PWA. Yes, so the future use for Joomla will be that it can work as a, I don't know the proper term, but basically it will almost be like a server environment, or it's act as its own environment, supporting progressive web apps and supporting web apps, so that you might not even have, in some cases, a web page because you're just running your app and you're using Joomla as the basis. I think that I am saying that correctly. And so there will be an API for your Joomla site so that your app can call back to your server and look at inventory and prices, and serve up the information on the app. So I think that's what this is talking about. That's some brain cell stuff that's just starting to grow together in my head. Here's another theme. And I think that we saw this before, a 360-degree panoramic image viewer from Saeed Ashik Mahmood. And JD Builder, there you go. November 8th. I think this deal is up. November, oh no, it's 3 days ago, who knows? Anyways, get JD Builder Pro at 50%. I have been talking to Chayton about getting this part of a prize pack on the giveaway, and actually someone from another page builder contacted me, and there's going to be putting in donating a prize into the monthly draw as well for that. So always on the lookout for new prizes. And I think that person is going to come on and show their page builder as well. So I'm just been talking to them. And here's another WDM Tech Joomla development. So an ad here. All right. And there's Frankly Frank, who says, I need Joomla mobile view. All right. Use Joomla responsive template, or you can code your own. Yeah. Use the responsive template. Someone who posts, I need Joomla mobile view, probably it's not helpful to tell them that they should program their own. Just saying. But having said that, it is a good way to communicate. Use a responsive template or program your own, because that would drive, if someone said that to me, that would drive me to use a responsive template. What is a responsive template? The guy probably needs a little bit more support on that. And sometimes helping people in these forums is a great way to not only make new friends and help out in the community, but you may end up finding that they need some work done, and you could be the person who does it. I'm not saying to use the forums to poach clients or to just post your own stuff, but as Frank Kern says, maybe the best way to help clients is by actually helping them. I think he said something like that. Or maybe the best way to get clients is by actually helping them. So don't try to Don't try to trick them into going to you for work. Help them out. Establish a relationship. Just do something, and who knows, maybe down the road you'll be able to. Now, if someone keeps coming to you for help over and over again and you can't, then you just use your words and say, I'm not able to help this much to this degree, but here's an instance where, if you want to hire me, this is what it would cost. But anyways. Saying no is a lot harder than saying yes sometimes. 10 more spaces to go. Call WhatsApp to book and learn website design and development. Very nice. Advertising, opportunity to train people. Cool. Don't know if there's a cost there. Phil Taylor says, look for your PayPal link on your site, Tim. There's no way to send you money. I don't want money. All right, I will. That's something that I've never. I should put on there. I would love to get the channel up to the point if I have 4,000 watch hours in a year, Super Chat could come on if people want to make donations. But I should make that available. I will do something, Phil, because even as I was just saying, I think it's really important. I want to help you and support you in your desire to send me money. Image copy and protection, we've seen that. WhatsApp contact button, yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, we've seen that one. Yeah, lots of things posted there. JMG Cyborg Pro. I don't know if we saw that. That's the 5th. Let's check that out. By the way, what does come to me? Webmaster@cybersalt.org is a PayPal address that will come to me. I'm pretty sure, but I'll set it up for you and I'll put something on there. JMG Sidebar is a nice Joomla module which sticks to your web page side area. You can have your own custom text, article, or image on it. You can put a menu or any other module on it. It also contains a simple contact form. The sidebar module can work fine with any product production site, any product site. Highly configurable, easy to use. This module is cross-browser compatible and works on all modern browsers. Let's see the demo. Download it. Here we are here. I think that's what we're looking at, right? Sidebar Pro. Sidebar right here. Download. Position bottom right layout. Position top left layout. Oh, this will move it around. Top right layout. Let's see. Is it this that we're looking at? Or is it this sidebar? I think it's hard to say. Position bottom right overlap bubble. I think it must be this one here. Let's see. It's nice Joomla module. It sticks to your web page side area. Yes, it's going to be that. All right. So it sticks. Cool. External URL. And we click on that and it's going to go to Facebook. Okay, cool. Gourmet is new CCK restaurant booking template. November 3rd for teacher training, looking drive, learn, engagement, quiz and survey tool. We looked at that last week as well. So that catches us up on that. Alrighty. So anything else? Anything new out there? Any projects that you're working on? Otherwise, oh, look at that. Oh, I was just saying, oh, look at that. It's 12:49, but we only started at 12 o'clock. So if I'm taking a vote, would be awesome if I did a vid on custom fields post Vinny help. Too much noob to jump into that. Yes. Yeah, Valerie, I hear you. I would like to get to if I can get to the point where I'm confident enough to just do some things and just to show the very basics as I figure them out, I will make some tutorials on that. And so from talking with Vinny and from doing stuff like with Mark DeChevre on Wednesday or Wednesdays, if we do multiple streams on that, it's going to happen in my head. You guys know that's the whole origin and genus not genius, but genus, or genesis, I guess, of this channel is a long time ago. I really struggled trying to read documentation that some of the developers put out. And I'm not knocking them because I know how, you can only be good at so many things. But sometimes they use words that just, they know what they mean, but I'm just not familiar with the concept. So that's why I try to figure it out. I will be the dumb, I will be the canary in their coal mine, the dumb guy in their coal mine. Try to figure it out when I do, then explain it in a way that makes sense to me. So yeah, so create, custom fields is definitely something. And I don't know if maybe I should do one more revisit my goals for success in 2019 video, because some of them have been coming together rather nicely lately, including getting together a pricing system for that I can quote to clients. Let me tell you about that, because for the longest time I've been saying I'm working on some maintenance packages or retainer packages. And so I just, at the moment when you're talking to someone about work to do and work they want you to do or what to be doing, and they say, well, how much would it cost? If you can't just say it, you're gonna have a hard time landing them. So I've got a bunch of that for my hourly rate figured out, some packages. I still want to do the retainer packages. I need to do that this week, especially before I meet with a client tomorrow that was referred to me. I'm going over to their business. They have an old Joomla site that needs some fixing and also needs updating. But they actually came to me through a friend at the Chamber of Commerce. So if they, who has already done a WordPress site for them. So if it turns out that they're super happy with the other site that he built, I'm just going to tell them to go to him and get a new site built, because you're not going to get many referrals from companies if you keep stealing their clients. He called me up. This guy called me up, but Kelly called me up and he said, oh, do you do Joomla? And I said, yes, I do. And he says, I have a client that has a Joomla site. We don't do Joomla, and they need it updated, or they need some updates. So I said, hey, that's great. Anyways, so maybe we have to revisit that, my plans, and which kind of means that maybe I might do, maybe, I don't know, will I do my plans for success in 2020? What's my 2020 vision? I went to a conference, well, it'd be 20 years ago. Actually, it might be more than 20 years ago. It was called Vision 2000. We as human beings get super excited about numbers. We really like round numbers. So remember the whole thing about Y2K, not only with the computer problem, but everyone's so excited about the new millennium. And so Vision 2000. And I realized back then, man, when 2020 comes here, everyone's going to be talking about, do you have 2020 vision for your business? Or what's your 2020 vision? Blah, 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 blah. Because, of course, that's considered perfect eyesight for human beings, 2020 vision. And here it is. So what's my 2020 vision? I probably just owe it to myself for living this long. If I live that long, I'm not there yet. I probably owe it to myself just to do something like that, and to do a live stream. In fact, as I look at my calendar, January 1st, what is that? January 1st is a Wednesday. Ha ha. So depending on what's happening with family being around, or where I am, because I might actually be New Year's Eve, there might be some other plans that are cooking. Maybe I will do a New Year's Day 2020 vision thing. Okay. That sounds a good possibility. All right. Well, it's 5 to 1 here. Probably time for me to start to think about lunch. Appreciate everyone hanging in there for the extra late time and the start. Yeah, I'm going to switch my glasses again here. The extra late, the later start today. I really, with the time change, already Maintenance Monday and Watch Me Work live stream is an hour later. So I wondered if maybe I should, instead of setting it to 11 o'clock my time, which is like 1800 UTC, I wonder if maybe I should just set it to 1800 UTC and change when I do it my time. That would change it for everybody. but it gets a little bit later in Europe. The only problem is that I'm so bad in the morning. So if I made things an hour earlier, it might just be too rough on me. I might not be able to pull it off. Well, it's almost 9 now. Yes, because when it reaches 1, yeah, so Greenwich Mean Time or UTC time is 8 hours ahead of me. So, and so that means, when do I usually do? Is it 1800 or 1600 UTC? 22 there. I don't know. I'll have to sit down and figure this out. It gets me confused. The whole world should just switch to UTC. Then things would really be confused. So it's almost 9 there, and Phil's at Greenwich Mean Time. Normally, just as you order your takeaway. Ivor's Greenwich Mean Time +1. So Phil, are you at Greenwich Mean Time if it's 9 there? Yes. Yes, you are, because... And Eric is at 3 p.m. Central. Yes. Okay, so Ivor's there. So right now, what time UTC is it? At 1 o'clock, it is 2100 UTC. Yes, at 1 o'clock. So if I normally start at 11, that's 2 hours earlier. Normally, that's 1900 UTC. Right. Okay. And when the clocks are changed next in the spring, fall back, spring ahead, when they're moved ahead an hour, then it will be, UTC time will be 7 hours ahead of me here, not 8. All right, so I do have it right. It's 1800 hours during the summertime months in the Northern Hemisphere, 1900 hours UTC in the winter time, in the dark time of the year. Yes, and you have daylight savings in summer. Phil, are you saying that you don't change at all? In the summer, you're UTC plus... no. Yes, okay. Okay. UTC plus 2. All right. At the core of this... the core of the problem is that... At the core of the problem is that I don't like to get up in the morning. I'm not very good at it. And so I went to the Remembrance Day ceremony, and then we headed back here, and I had the topic and I had the thumbnail done, but I still had to set up the live stream, and I should. Well, I'm not going to be down on myself because things are going better. So things are going well in many areas. So in summer, UTC +1. UTC +1. Okay. Because Greenwich Mean Time does not change, does it? Greenwich Mean Time is always... Greenwich Mean Time is not affected by daylight savings time, is it? The really nice thing about all of this is it looks like here in British Columbia, we will put our clocks forward in the spring, and that may be the last time we do that. And so then my start time will be the start time forever. And it will be the same time UTC, and anyone else who changes will have to figure it out. Anyway, so, there was a time that the church that I was pastoring at years ago, and a couple of years ago, it didn't really work out in the evening for board members to meet. So I said, okay, well, what works well? And early in the morning on a Tuesday before work worked well for them. So I said, yes, okay, that's fine. So I figured I would just make that sacrifice for the team. But I'll tell you, the mornings were so bad for me. I was not productive, and I was not necessarily leading in those meetings either, because I was just so tired. So as you know, after you leave a stage of life and you look back and some things that you would do differently, I would never say, yeah, let's go to early morning meetings, because I just absolutely zonked at them. It was not my good time. So lessons learned. So that's why I'm hesitant to That's why I am hesitant to change the time any earlier. Alrighty, well, yeah, Ivor says they're talking about that in Europe also, just not changing the times. I think we'll see it. Now, I have a friend in Pakistan, they don't change the time there. Chaitan's in India, they don't change the time there. So I think it would probably be not necessarily a bad thing. Although one thing that was said was that it would be better to set the clocks back an hour, like the time that we're in. So this is not daylight savings time. This is daylight standard time, Pacific Standard Time. That this is better lighting conditions for humans to live in, to get that bright light in the morning, as opposed to missing it in the morning. Anyways, what a bunch of scientists wrote letters saying that what our province is considering doing, along with all the Western states and Yukon Territory in Canada, that what they're considering doing is stopping at the wrong point. They should set the clock back. It should be the way that it is right now. So, all right. Well, I feel that I am rambling, but thanks everybody. Thanks again, Phil, for letting me preview that and on the channel. You've got the 2 links to the videos if you want to share them, and we'll just work away. And so everybody, thanks for your support of the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, Lord willing, with Mark DeChevre and some custom field stuff. And we'll keep moving forward on that. So until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.